All right. Well, hey Dean, how are you?
I'm good, James. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. So it's really good to see you today.
Likewise.
Hope things are going well for you.
I can't complain at all, actually. Everything is on the right path.
Well, very good. Very good.
I would say ever since you and I, interacted the first round when we had that conference that we attended together, it definitely gave me some perspective that truly allowed me to visualize more of my goals and directive in terms of what I want.
Okay.
Definitely joining this program has definitely given me the footing that I needed, as well as the well-rounded knowledge base that would have allowed me to truly transition within my career in a more focused manner. I don't know if I told you initially, I've been working in the real estate development company for some time, since 2006. And I found that I felt a little bit, how should I say, stuck.
Okay.
I mean, I've gotten about 2 promotions, big promotions actually, but for some reason I just felt stuck. And I think when you and I interacted that time at the function, the gala, it gave me an opening that allowed me to truly transition so that I can kind of get more flexibility. But any questions you want to ask in particular?
Well, certainly. I mean, I really appreciate you, referencing, that time. I didn't realize that was so important,
It was.
for you. That lessons in leadership was just it was a great, time for me as well.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that something that happened around that time was important for you, too. I hear you saying that you felt really stuck. I didn't realize that you were in real estate.
Yeah.
So can you tell me just a little bit more about that feeling of being stuck?
Well, what I found is that, one, granted my age, it gave me some limitations. The company that I work for is more old school. Okay. So they're rooted in a very old-fashioned type of lifestyle environment. And so for certain initiatives to be brought to the table, it has to go through a certain channel.
Okay.
And if it doesn't go through that channel, it's not voiced or vocalized in a capacity that actually warrants any response. Okay. And so for me, being so creative in the way that I think and the way that I handle my finances, financial analysis, granted that I'm an analyst, it somewhat hinders me because, I see a lot of loopholes that we can really capitalize on. And it's almost as if it's like a hush-hush type situation. Just let it be. Okay. And so, I guess because of the roadblocks that I've found as I progressed throughout the entire company, because I started out as a financial associate, I moved up to be a senior financial analyst within the space of maybe 4 years and maybe a couple months. Okay. And I still feel as if I'm in the same place that I was when I first started, even though I have more responsibilities and more pain. Physically, emotionally, and mentally, I'm stuck.
Okay. So even though there's been like some progression in terms of financial promotion, in terms of maybe on paper promotion,
yes,
you feel stuck just in terms of the creative aspects of what you do.
Yes.
So, and in terms of the job itself, in terms of the field itself, there isn't really anything happening that's really moving. It's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Would that be correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. I know you wanted to talk about your professional career. That's what you indicated to me. So I want to make sure that this time is valuable for you. So that's awesome. Well, is there more that you can tell me about that stuck feeling in terms of focusing in on what it is from that creative aspect that you would want?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if the stuck feeling that I'm having is as a result of lack of recognition or is it performance based? No, it can't be performance based because I actually do the things that are necessary. And I do the things that are necessary that rewards the company overall. Okay. And so I get that back with certain raises. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily performance based. I don't know if it's egotistically based or if it's just centered around pride or just me saying, hey, give me a handshake or a hug or something that, I'm not that stiff. It's a simple pat on the back and acknowledgement would do for me what I really want. And I think it's a very difficult situation where I'm not getting that from the senior manager. It's almost as if, okay, you did a good job, move on to the next one. Done a good job, move on to the next one. Where I've saved so many situations within the office over the last year and 7 months. I just got back a couple of weeks ago, trying to resolve a lending agreement that went sour. CEO took off and she went to Paris, south of France, and she left some obligations that needed to be sorted out. Unfortunately, no one had the capacity or sought the need to deal with this, and I took it upon myself to go to the banker, and I spoke to the banker and made a feasibility study that would have allowed certain provisions to be seen, and it just materialized into something really feasible for Dr. Jackson. Unfortunately, all I got was a good job, as if it was almost something that was continuously recognized. Yes, he's always going to do a good job, but that's it. It's not something like I appreciate what you've done. I value your time and effort that you put into this industry, into this company. Okay. So I feel almost as if I'm a tool. Okay. Like a mathematical tool. That's it.
Okay. So in terms of maybe getting that more level of recognition that you would like to see, what would that look like for you?
I mean, for me, I think it would be like, I'm not asking for anything big. Even maybe some sort of notoriety. Even something that is like a plaque. Something that I can have tangibly that shows that I have worked and excelled. You see, many of my achievements have been marked with something physical. So it may be a certificate or some sort of trophy. And I think I came from a family that promoted that type of lifestyle. And so as a result, I look for that in the workplace. And when I don't get that in the workplace, I feel insignificant in some capacity. And so it causes me to feel almost like unimportant in some manner, where my services are not necessarily valued. I guess I'm not sure. I'm just taking it maybe out of perspective. I don't know. It's just my feelings. Like I'm truly emotionally moved by the lack of recognition I get. But however, someone else in my position would have been completely happy because you transferred from financial associate to junior analyst to senior analyst. So the titles would mean a lot, but to me don't mean anything. I guess it's just simply a real, I don't know what it is I mean. I don't know. I'm still trying to find out.
Well, I think it's important. Do you, in terms of your disc profile, where did you land?
I'm an I.
You're an I.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of that I, what is it that I's kind of look for in terms of that recognition?
Emotional response, any kind of massaging of the ego, things that are truly directed toward the person, focused toward the person. Yeah.
So that seems to sound very familiar to what you just said.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. You're right. You're right. Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, in terms of kind of looking at that, have you ever seen anybody else that's in a similar position to yours who has gotten the recognition that you are speaking about?
Yes, and I'm not sure if it's because those individuals are more socialized, but I'm a socialite. I just don't drink alcohol, and so I'm not sure if because I don't party as hard, willing to go out and drink and get drunk and carry on the fool with certain executives that has hindered me. And it's just funny because last week I was asking my wife if she thinks I need to start taking alcohol again because it's not something that I usually engage in, but it seems to be the mode of acceptance in some capacity. So it will transform my lifestyle if I take this type of persona on.
Well, that gets into a very big value judgment.
Yes.
So that's a whole separate discussion.
Oh yeah.
Is that a discussion that you would want to have, or do you want to focus on?
I mean, I don't mind having a value discussion.
Well, it just depends. What is your goal for our discussion
My
today?
goal is to get perspective.
Okay.
Actually analyzing where my deficiencies are with accepting where I am professionally. Okay. And moving moving into a light that will allow me to set all those, emotional instructions or whatever you want to call them aside and just keep focusing on being as good an analyst as I am or can be.
So, and when you kind of look at that, is there one particular area that you think that is going to allow you the most growth?
I'm not sure. I have never really dissected it in that way. I'm not sure. Like I think maybe if I were to undertake, I really want to get into development myself, real estate development myself, and so understanding the financials is one thing. Understanding the negotiation aspect of it is another. And that's where I fall short. And I think that comes back into play with my understanding of my emotions because I don't know how to negotiate. Like we are negotiating right now. Every conversation is a negotiation. And I think I just don't know how to negotiate with certain executives that will allow me the visible reward that is necessary. Because maybe they don't even know. Maybe they think they're doing the right thing. Maybe they think they're giving me the praise that I so deserve because I haven't communicated it in a way that is. I don't think. I don't think. I don't know.
Well, in terms of that negotiation piece, would you say that is probably the biggest thing that is?
I think so. It's definitely one that I have fallen short.
Okay, so I heard you say that. I heard you say that you feel pretty good about the financial piece. So, is there anything else in terms of that? Interacting with the key players that you feel is weak for you.
Honestly speaking, when it comes down to the getting things done, I'm that type of guy.
Okay.
And so I never allow my emotions to get me confused. So interacting with anyone is never a problem on a professional level. But I guess when it comes down to now, when the work is all done, it's now supposed to be more on a social level. I visualize you as being my elite, and so as a result of it, I feel somewhat colored in a fashion that retards my vocabulary, interactive aspects.
And one of the exercises, of course, that we do in school is on network.
Yeah.
And understanding that a network is like a muscle.
Yeah.
The more that you flex it, the stronger it becomes.
Right.
And that was a real powerful piece for me.
Yeah.
How does that sound when I say that to you?
It sounds like a machine.
So we gotta work that machine. Yeah. And so in practice, working that machine, you get more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
When I say that to you, how does that sound to you?
Something that can be done.
Okay.
I might have to be forced or massaged or a little bit encouraged.
So I like that word. So because the goal has to come from you. And, if it's kind of pushed from me, then how effective is that going to be?
Not necessarily effective. I mean, if I see, you see, my thing is right. Stimulus encourages me. Stimuli encourage me. And I guess if I see you pushing me, it shows that you have a vested interest in me. And that is why you encourage me. That's why you're pushing me. And so to make sure that you don't feel that you are wasting your time or your energies, I will do what you ask, so that I guess you can see some sort of value in me.
Well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't see some sort of value.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so in terms of a goal, what would you say is your number one goal? What is the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most important thing that you want to focus on? What is your 10?
Commitment.
Okay.
And when I say commitment, I need to be truly committed to the things that I say and the things that I do.
Okay.
Even if I feel even if it's emotions have to play in it, or if there's some negativity that's pulling away, something that's corroding that whole pathway.
Okay.
So my commitment is my smile.
Okay. So in terms of commitment, what do we need to focus on today for you and your commitment?
I would say maybe removal of any hurt, removal of any negative thoughts, any self-doubt, and that has always been a quest of mine. I've gone through many of these what you call it packages, marketing packages, with what's it, Rich Dad Poor Dad, what's that guy? Tall guy. I forgot his name. But a couple packages that, it's all good because you get pumped up from the time you start these seminars, the three seminars. And after the seminars are over, you're like, what I said, Robert Kiyosaki told me to do this, to do this, to do this. Okay, it's done now, but I'm back to square one. Right. So what is it that I did not remove within myself that allowed me to truly visualize what hinders my commitments at this?
And we want to make sure that when we get a goal set, that it's something that's specific, that's measurable, that's attainable, realistic in time, that it's those SMART goals. But even beyond that, we want to make sure that a goal is hard, that it's heartfelt, actionable, reactionary, and it's difficult, that we have a connection to it. Because, like you said, when we leave those seminars, sometimes, we were pumped up at the time, but if we didn't really have that heartfelt connection with what it was, if it didn't really come from us, then we're not going to be motivated to continue to do it. And we have to, the reason we do them in those SMART goals, those small increments, is so that we can realize the gains that we've had, and the wins that we get, so that we see the progressions that we're having. So in terms of that commitment, what's a goal that we can set today for Dean?
To fulfill everything that is vocalized.
That's really, really big.
That's big.
That's big. So how can we get that a little bit more specific?
Everything that I say that I'm going to do has to be done, even if it causes pain.
What does that look like?
Happiness, recognition, value, worth, erasing others' doubt in my ability to do.
Those are important values, and those are great concepts. But in terms of specific things that we can see, what can you do that are small steps that we can visualize in terms of starting on that road for your community?
Be more honest, I guess, with myself. Things that I say, cannot come.
Okay.
Because I find sometimes I tell people that I can do certain things, even though I may not be able to do it, and then I struggle with different avenues to fulfill that obligation to do it. So it causes me more strain for their satisfaction. But they don't know about the strain that I'm caused because they're still receiving it. So the end result.
Okay. So I hear being more honest with what you can and cannot do. Okay. So when we're saying that, what does that look like? How do we get that more specific, and what does that look like?
I don't know.
Think of something specific in your life that you can really focus on in terms of that. Because that's a big concept. But what we want to do is we want to look at something specific that we can really measure in terms of.
My commitment is impacted by time constraints. Okay? My time constraints is pretty much in disarray because I have poor time management. Okay? I guess I have never truly taken an approach that would allow me to really be able to slot my time and truly stay on track. Okay?
So in terms of working on our commitments, which I think is a great goal, would you say the first step to that is working on time management? That's what I'm hearing from you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely that. Because I scatter myself too often. Even my wife says, Dean, you're being pulled in too many directions too often. And it causes you significant wear. Okay. So, I mean, with that, I think, that's true. Actually, it's funny because Matthew, my coach, spoke to me at one point when we first met and started programming. After we spoke over a half an hour period, he said, your problem is time. It comes right back to this conversation that we had.
Well, that's what, and again, when we're working on goals, we've got to start with what's specific and what can we measure so that we can start to see those wins. Because if we don't see a win in these areas, we don't realize what it is that we are doing right.
Yes.
And when we start seeing that we're making strides in an area, then we start to build up confidence. We start to see value. Does that make sense? And when we start seeing progression, then we start realizing that we're achieving goals. We start seeing growth. We start assigning positive terms to that growth. We start.
And definitely, I think confidence has always been an issue of mine because, again, of the environment I came from. My father is such a prudent businessman. It's always achieving. He's always pressured me to be this when I didn't want to do that. Ventured off into finance as opposed to accounting. Ever since then, I've been scrutinized, so it hindered my confidence, inner confidence. So even if I do well, it's not a field that he recognizes, even though it's a superb field. His field is accounting, doctor, or lawyer. Those are the only three things I would do. I think I've leaned too much into his wanting of acceptance, or wanting too much of acceptance from him, which kind of tainted my understanding of myself and how I need to approach life in terms of how do I fulfill my plans, how do I fulfill my obligations, how do I follow in, how do I believe in myself without these doubts and things like that.
Well, and all that sounds very, very important. And in terms of getting kind of back to that goal, how do we get that organization online so that you can see some measurable written goal? Okay. So what does that look like when we do that?
So the only way, I've done it before and I was excelling at it, but I stopped for some reason and I just don't understand why. I've never done it for maybe the last 7 years. Where I would normally just literally take a piece of paper and start up my feet. And as I went along, things would be checked off where adjustments were needed. I would make adjustments and shift certain things over. So I would always carry a little pocketbook with me in my pants every day that shows you exactly what obligations I met, how I met certain obligations, and what were not met that needed to be tended to. And I was on point. I remember the last time I did that was back in 2009. I haven't done that again. And I feel so lost. And it's almost like I'm trying to get back to that point, and I don't know how to.
So, is that something you think that is realistic for you to get back to now?
It is realistic because I'm doing something that I did before.
Okay. So, how are we going to get back to that?
I'm actually just starting it. I will really need to just make the first step by that pocket. So a lot of people venture and believe in the phones and stuff. I believe in something that's physical, paper-based. To my pocket.
Okay. So that seems very specific. Get in the pocketbook. That seems, you said that that's very realistic.
Yeah.
That seems like a good opportunity for you moving forward and seeing some growth in this area. Is that something that you're willing to do?
I can.
You can. Yeah, I know you can. But
I will.
I like that.
I will.
I like that. It's a much more definitive term. Excellent.
I will.
All right. In terms of you will, when are you going to do it?
I mean, I guess I can start today. Just like going to Office Depot, I was picking it up.
Excellent. I like that, but I don't like that guest. Can you give me something more concrete?
How about this? I can go after we leave this meeting, collect that file,
I like that.
and slot it.
I like that. And then how can I hold you accountable? Because
Call me and ask for a visual, and I can usually send you a clipping, photographic clipping of the fact that I actually materialized my week into a document.
Would that be helpful for you?
Force is always good.
So I'm glad to be accountable, your accountability partner.
You know, that's another thing. I actually think that accountability has been my hovering ailment, where like I know I'm a smart guy, so I do things when I want to because it's always going to get done. And so if I have an obligation that says, okay, today's a deadline, I need to get something done for today, I would do it tomorrow, like last night. Whereas I would have had a meeting a week ago to see, where we were and not have anything prepared, just because I know in my mind all I need would be a couple of days prior to get it done. So we'll come to that meeting, it's not prepared. I really don't care. Because I'm still going to get the job done. But I guess it's more of an assurance to others that I'm on track with what I say.
Yep, accountability.
So it goes back into that whole accountability commitment. So,
but that's how we make sure that we achieve those goals. Because in terms of those time-based measures, if nobody holds us to those times that we set for ourselves, then we'll linger in limbo. So that's your time. That's not my time. That's the time you're setting for yourself. So if that's realistic for you, then I'll hold you accountable to it. And I'll text you later today and say, did you get your goal accomplished?
And I think if I don't have that forceful mechanism to say, hey, did you get this done? I'm gonna ask.
Sounds good. Well, what in terms of follow up beyond today, what else do you need from me?
Just sporadic. Hey, buddy, when we do talk, show me that book. Or how are you with your time management? For me, I have to be caught off guard to make me see how prepared I am. If I know that I'm going to have a conversation about certain things, I'm going to prepare. If I know I need to have something, I'm going to prepare. But you have to catch me off guard to see if it's true. Okay? And that's the thing. Sometimes I end up, my brain is like completely on 100 miles an hour, where I end up tricking myself often. Okay? And sometimes falling short within that process of tricking myself. Because I know I'm capable. I know I'm smart. I know I can get things done. But then I have this surface area type ego that blows through it that says, you know what? Don't worry. It will be done no matter what. Flow through.
Okay. All right, so I'll do sporadic check-ins on you to make sure that you're following through on your goal. Yeah. So, is there another, though, beyond that, more specific time that we need to follow up and just see about another goal for yourself?
Really, one of my ultimate goals is inner peace. And I think that I've fallen short of that quite sometimes because I've suppressed a lot of emotions. I've trusted a lot of people that were very unfortunately, those people were very close to me, very close friends and relatives that said some very ill things about me when I was going through my relapse back in 2011. It's almost as though they wanted me to die. I had like a big game, a joke. It really hurt because I was expecting that time from those people. It's almost like whenever I talk to anyone else, they're like, oh, I'm happy that you see that these people are the ones that are burning you. I've recognized it. Yes, I have recognized that these people are whole. The fortunate thing is that these same folks are the same folks that I grew up with, and they literally became my life. And so, because now that I'm distant from them as a defense mechanism, I feel as if I'm withdrawn from my circle. When that should not be the feeling, because 7 people can't make up a whole circle of my life. But it's almost like I gave them so much value in my life that now that I'm withdrawn from those folks, feels like I'm always second guessing myself. Is there something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Should I do this? Should I call? Should I say this? Should I not? So there's always this constant mind game in your head. So I think inner peace and happiness is something that I'm really working toward having. I guess it goes right back down to, again, that self-doubt situation that we spoke of earlier. Yeah.
And I appreciate you sharing it with me, and feeling comfortable with it. And those are big concepts to work on. And again, I think the importance of working toward those is with any big goal like that is figuring out how we divide those goals up into small steps and realizing the wins that we get as we move through those. And then I know that's difficult because those are big concepts that I don't think we can get to today.
Yeah, I know.
but I think that there's some awesome assignments that you're going to have in this program that are going to hit on some of those topics if they haven't changed them. And I'm kind of excited to see how that will evolve.
Well, what's even funny that you said that is that journal that's due for this month actually focused on opening up that same problem area that I spoke on. And so we have 3 areas you have to do: your spiritual, financial, spiritual life, financials, and relationships. And break that down into a journal where you can talk about your coaching, talk about it with your coach and stuff. And so it's funny because just last week I started breaking into this whole nutshell that I thought I had enclosed, needing to touch base with.
They're trying to develop a whole person. That's part of being a good leader. Just to make sure that I respect your time. Did we accomplish what you needed to today?
In all honesty, yes, because you allowed me to truly, face to face, human being to human being, look into your eyes and see value that I should see in you. And in your words, understand your limitations and why those limitations exist. And as a result, find avenues that would allow me to circumvent or even help me restore my base. So I would say yes. So everything has played sequentially from my journal exercise earlier in the week to this meeting today. So yes.
Well, hope I was of assistance.
You definitely have been.
Very good.
I hope I answered the questions as clearly as possible and as well laid out as I should.
You did. It was awesome spending time with you, as it always is. So if I can do anything else for you, but obviously I will text you later today.
James, I appreciate it.
No, I will get a good response.
Definitely. James, thank you so much, my good man.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.